Abandoned German Shepherd puppy cried when he recognized man at shelter, but he did something unusual. It was a chilly morning at the city animal shelter. Rows of cages lined the room, each holding dogs of all shapes and sizes. But in the far corner, a tiny German Shepherd puppy sat alone, his fur matted and eyes swollen from crying. His name was Max. He had been abandoned weeks ago and refused to eat much. Every time the staff passed by, they whispered, "This one seems heartbroken, like he's waiting for someone." Max stared at the door as if expecting a miracle. Max wasn't always this sad. Just a month ago, he had a home. A man had found him on the roadside and promised, "I'll take care of you, little one." Max believed every word, but life had other plans. The man fell on hard times, losing his job and home. He loved Max, but with nowhere to stay, he left him at the shelter with a note. "Please find him someone who loves him. I can't." Since that day, Max waited and waited. One afternoon, a tall man in a worn-out jacket walked into the shelter for a normal visitation, hopping to check if the dog has found a new home or living fine. His face looked familiar, at least to Max. The puppy's ears perked up, his tiny tail wagging. He pressed his nose against the bars, whining softly. The man? He was the same person who left Max behind. His name was Daniel, a former soldier struggling with PTSD and homelessness. When Daniel saw Max, his eyes filled with tears. He whispered, "You remember me?" Max cried out, a sound no one in the shelter had heard before, then started pawing at the gate, desperate to reach him. Volunteers were stunned. Dogs rarely remembered after weeks of separation. But Max did. The room went silent. A puppy's cry echoed like a plea for forgiveness and love. Daniel knelt and said something unusual to the shelter staff. "I can't adopt him right now. I still have no home. But can I volunteer? Can I walk him every day? Just so he knows I didn't leave him for good." The staff exchanged looks. They had never heard such a request before. Normally, people either adopted or walked away. But Daniel stayed for hours, brushing Max, whispering to him, "I'll come back, I promise." Days turned into weeks. Daniel showed up every morning. Max changed. He stopped crying, started eating, and wagged his tail again. Other shelter dogs began to respond too, watching this bond grow stronger by the day. Shelter staff said, "He's not just helping the dog is healing him too." Daniel felt something he hadn't in years: purpose. One crisp morning, Daniel walked into the shelter with a smile. He held out a small envelope of money. It wasn't much, but enough for the adoption fee. Tears filled his eyes as he said, "I found a job. I have a small place now. I came for my boy." The room erupted in cheers. Max barked wildly, leaping into Daniel's arms. They clung to each other like two broken souls made whole again. Daniel and Max walked out of the shelter together, sunlight warming their faces. What started as an abandoned puppy's sorrow turned into a story of loyalty, love, and second chances. From that day on, Max wasn't just a pet. He was family, a loyal companion for life.